Welcome to episode 2 of RNF Unlocked, a podcast series that gives you exclusive insider access to the CryptoDATA RNF MotoGP team. I'm Neil Morrison, and as we head into round 4 of the 2023 MotoGP World Championship, I'm excited to be joined today by fellow guest Adam Wheeler, Wilco Zeelenberg, the team manager of CryptoDATA RNF MotoGP, and also Paolo Bonora, the race manager of Aprilia Racing. Hello to you guys and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is scorching hot here in Jerez, Thursday, just before the race weekend starts. I mean, gentlemen, it's the heat is going to be maybe an issue at some point during this weekend.
Yeah, not only on the track, but also in this hospitality at the moment. The aircon is not working, so it's quite hot here. Yeah, as we saw yesterday, track temperature is around 59 degrees, so much hotter than last year already. So let's see where we end up.
Absolutely. I'm glad to say that we've all got some water. We're keeping hydrated during this show. And Wilco, first going to come to you. We had an interesting race in Austin, lots of drama. We had quite a lot of crashes there, but the main race on Sunday, we have to say, really positive performance from Miguel, finishing 5th just behind Maverick and coming back from his injury that he sustained at the first round of the year. I mean, that's a pretty good comeback for Miguel.
Yes, yeah, we were very happy with that. Of course, missing 2 rounds, especially the first 2 rounds when everybody is in a kind of flow. And of course, he crashed out of Portimao race in the front, so that gives you a lot of good feeling. But anyway, it was 2-3 laps were done, so you don't know nothing about the final result. But of course, being injured for 2 races and going to Austin, which is a very physical, demanding racetrack, what actually nobody really loves, because you never know what you get there, bumps or humps or no grip or whatever. And they were also both quite slow the year before, Raul and Miguel. So yeah, we were very happy with that performance on the 5th place. And also Raul, I think, could have done a good race, but yeah, he was not able to show it basically in the main race because yeah, we had a DNF on the right height device problem. But that looks to be solved at the moment, and so we're looking forward. They are both on a good flow, and with Raul, I think it's important to keep it calm and go step by step, because everybody's asking, yeah, what's happening with Raul? But yeah, I really believe he's growing, and he clearly is still a kind of rookie, because last year was kind of lost because of the injury in the beginning and all the hassle with his contract, and you know, when you are so young and you have those kind of problems on your head, it doesn't help learning and riding these bikes in a good way and learning the racetrack step by step, especially on a MotoGP bike. And so yeah, stay calm, and I think he will be able to grow again. Even saying that, we also need to understand that last year he was not in the MotoGP here at this track. So, you know, we start FP1 without any information from him on a MotoGP bike in Jerez. Of course, he knows the way, but the speeds and the way of braking and turning is so different than Moto2 and Moto3 that he actually he's starting on 0 again.
Paolo, it's great to have you and have Aprilia presence on the podcast. 2 quick questions. I mean, how do you feel the season started for the factory? Are you pretty happy with the way things have gone? And secondly, you know, Jerez, this is the kind of the start of the European segment of the calendar. It's also a track that the teams and the riders know incredibly well. And then there's the test, of course, on Monday. So it's a crucial Grand Prix, isn't it?
Yes, you are fully right. To be honest, we made an analysis at home in Aprilia, and seems to be that we achieve less than the expected. So for sure, we make a comparison with the 2022 and in Portimao and in Argentina. For sure, we didn't achieve the result that we expected, but we have seen a big step in the bike. So for unfortunately in Argentina, after an unbelievable Friday when everybody have seen Aprilia in 1st and 2nd position in FP1 and 2nd and 1st position in FP2, seeing the rain during Saturday, we we struggle a lot during Saturday and Sunday for sure. We analyze the data, and we have seen that it is necessary to make a few adjustments on the bike to follow in a better way the rider comments. And to be honest, despite of the Argentinian result in Austin, we did a big step in the bike and in the riding style of the rider. Historically, Austin was not our best track, for sure. We struggled a lot in the past in the fast changing direction in the first split in particular. But this year we did a good job. We told the four rider, to be honest, we were very happy about all the four rider. So Viñales did a good job for sure during the race, despite of the bad start, but he had a very good pace. And also Espargaro had a closing of the front problem. So he lost the front in the first part of the first lap because of the full tank for sure. He wanted to catch the first rider, but he tried too much. So he lost the front, and we didn't see his potential during the race. But for sure, he should have been a good race pace. And yeah, we try to do a better race here in Jerez. Seeing the race pace of Miguel, we were so happy about his riding style after that injury, because looking at that injury was not so easy to recover from that. So we were very happy about his recovery state, and at the moment we expect, as Wilco said, in Jerez, a very hot situation. For sure, we love hot situation compared cold situation for our bike, because we prefer to have a hot tarmac, because the bike works better in that situation. I don't know
That's
if
the
good news, but I don't know, Wilco, to be honest, in that very hot situation, because seems yesterday was 35 degrees, if I'm not wrong, and close to 50 degrees of tarmac. So is something special here at this time. We have seen something like this during the COVID. In 2020, if I'm not wrong, where we came here in July. In July, that was close to 40 degrees.
Feels the same,
and the feels absolutely the same.
Also, it's good training if you're going to Thailand, Indonesia, maybe the same in India. You know, you're going to find the second half of the calendar is going to be challenging in terms of climate.
Absolutely.
But I mean, Paolo, the fans might want to know, when you say you've made a big step with the RSGB, what do you mean by that? Is it just about making the bike more comfortable to ride for the likes of Miguel and for Raul, or how can you define that?
Yeah, it's something difficult to explain to you. But we work in each area where the rider last year say something. So last year they wanted to improve in the rideability of the bike for sure, and we work on. As you can see on the bike, if you make a comparison between the 2022 and 2023. You can see that there is a smaller front wing.
Yeah.
This makes the bike more agile, but it's necessary to recover in another way the load of the reduced wing for sure. Then we improve the power of the engine. Not so much Wilco. Huh? Don't ask for the engine of the insurance.
If we'll get soon.
If you say like this to Miguel and Raul, they want No, we improve. To be honest, we improve. Raising up the RPM, we gain, and raising up also the efficiency of the engine. We achieve more horsepower. It's not enough because our rider and Wilco was a rider, so knows very well. Ask for more and more and more, but we make another step on the performance of the engine. We work in electronic side to give more confidence to the rider in the engine braking area and in the acceleration phase in the first touch of the bike, to give more chance to the rider to feel the rear, to win the during the
better connection.
Yes,
better rear tire connection.
Better rear tire connection. This is correct. And as you probably already know, last year in particular, Aleix complained a little bit during the hot situation about the hot temperature coming from the bike. So if you see the particular shape of the fairing and the particular details of the fairing, we work a lot in our department in the aerodynamic area with the simulation in the wind tunnel to help the rider to achieve a better diffusion. Yes, is the correct way. A correct diffusion of the heat. Okay. To help the rider for during the long race to keep his temperature lower, so give him more possibility at the end of the race to have more energy and more power.
Interesting changes, Paolo, and good that they've been made for this year. Obviously, 2023 is a landmark year for Aprilia. It's the first time, I think, in their MotoGP history that you have a satellite team. Yes. And we're here with Wilco, obviously, and it'd be interesting to talk a little bit about the value of having a satellite team. What value does it bring Aprilia as a manufacturer to have two more bikes on the grid?
Yes. Thanks for the question. First of all, I wanted to thank the RNF for the very good collaboration that we start since the last part of the when we start to talk about this year, and immediately we felt very good together. To be honest, there was a big effort for us and also for them, because they change for sure the manufacturer, so it's not easy also for them, but for us we put 100% of our effort on this project. It is something new for us, and we spend a lot of time to be prepared for the first test in Valencia, first of all, and for the test in Sepang, to give to Miguel and to Raul the bike in this best condition, and all the stuff around the rider, to give to them initially the best confidence for them, the parts, everything at 100% of level. And it is very important for us to have them. Why? Because it's something that could help us a lot, because we have much more data. We have good rider in our factory, but there will be more possibility seeing the data of Raul and Miguel as well, because happens in Portimao, in a few corners, or in Argentina, or in Austin, to see that the satellite riders did in a better way some maneuver or some corner.
So
is individual riding style and strong point. So it's necessary to understand in which way we can improve in both sides.
Yeah.
We help the satellite, but satellite help us for sure. Having more data can give to the factory more information about the riding style for sure, as I said, but also about the reliability of the bike. We can reduce the time to see if a part is good or not good to bring forward for the championship, and to see if there is some problem that is necessary to solve immediately. So having more data for a factory team is every time something that can help.
Going back to what you were saying about the heat diffusion a moment ago, Paolo, it's kind of interesting, Neil, because I think it was Brad Binder telling us today in the media debriefs, if you see riders hanging their legs off in the last 5 laps of the race, it's not because they're looking for stability, it's because they're trying to cool their feet. But Wilco, to flip that question around from Paolo for you, how has it been working with Aprilia? You know, I imagine it's been somewhat easier, maybe more collaborative than, you know, compared to your previous, you know, manufacturer. How has that been?
Well, of course, being 23 years with Yamaha was a big step for me. So I was really used to the Japanese style, basically to work in that way. And I can only say one thing: these boys are here to win races. You know, so the ambition is very high, and they go very deep to do that. And this is the biggest difference, I think, if you compare it directly to the philosophy of a Japanese manufacturer. You know, they always go a little bit safe, on the safe side, because the bike has to finish this race. And these boys, they find the limit, we want to win, you know. And I think this is the main strategy, what is different in the whole process. And I think this is nice to see because, first of all, we're all very ambitious, and to have 4 bikes, you know, on the track instead of 2, I think this is, as Paolo explained, a positive thing, because finally you learn constantly from each other. There was in Yamaha like this, but also now here with Aprilia, it's the same. There's open data, and we can work very fast. And of course, you have many problems coming, because finally these bikes are always somewhere on the limit, and you can at least react quickly, you know, quicker than at least when you have 2 bikes. So a big change for me is the attitude to be able and to willing to win, and this is of course in a race team very important.
I mean, I know Paolo's sitting next to you, so you maybe have to be careful about what you say. But I mean, you're talking about the pace of being able to make changes and the attitude. There must be a whole culture difference as well, working with a European manufacturer. And it's generally regarded now by the fans and people watching that the European manufacturers are really accelerating the pace of what's possible in this championship.
Yes, that's clear. So anyway, anyway, Japan culture is anyway a shock to any other culture, you know, so they are quite specific and very good in some areas, but clearly also leaking in other areas. And this is for any culture compared to a Japanese culture, it's anyway kind of shock, you know, so in good ways and also sometimes in bad ways, but it's always a shock.
Paolo, logistically, I would like to know, how have you adapted to having a satellite team? Have you had to employ more staff, for example? I mean, I guess there was a lot more work for you during the winter time to try and prepare and make sure everything was ready. You're not just thinking about develop the 2023 bike, you're thinking about supplying enough parts for this team as well. Can you talk a little bit about logistics and how it was during the winter?
Yeah, was the
you have 60 minutes?
Yeah. We have time. Yeah, it was a big.
You better ask this question to your wife or not?
I don't know how much was the free time for us during the winter, but it was
challenging.
Well, it was very challenging, absolutely very challenging, because as you correctly said, we were developing the 2023. And in the same time, we had to make all the the warehouse for the RNF. So take the 2022 bikes, make all the new livery, all the new recover all the parts, try to make the correct amount of the parts for them, maybe, and the most of the time to teach the mechanics and the technician to a new system, because as correctly said by Wilco, jumping to a new manufacturer, you have to adapt to a new system. So we spend a lot of time to teach the electronics technician, to teach the spare part manager, to teach the crew chief. One crew chief is coming from Maverick Viñales, is our internal employee, and one is coming from RNF, so it was necessary to teach him. Then we put 2 our mechanics inside the team, because it is necessary to have somebody that knows the bike in all the details. But we spent a lot of time during the winter. The winter was so short for us, I don't know, but was so short. At the end, we were very happy to achieve that result, because in Sepang everything was achieved. The goal that we fixed together was achieved. Yeah. And in particular the rider comments coming from the RNF was so good for us. So hearing both Miguel and Raul was something that may make us happy, because they put on the table also negative point, and it is very good for us to hear this, because it's something where we have to improve. Yeah. Because we don't like to hear only good thing. Only good thing can't give us something the force to improve. It's necessary to hear where is the worst point. Please point out the finger to the worst point, because it's necessary to work there to make the improvement. And during the winter we prepare the season. We start in a good way, I think, because we put the base for that. We hear the comment of the rider since the Valencia test, the Sepang test, and we try to follow the Miguel and Raul comment, in particular for the ergonomic side, in particular this comment, but also for to follow their comment on the rideability or in the engine braking setting, to give to them the best comfort for the race. Yeah.
And a question for, well, both of you, I guess, can answer. What's the kind of balance in terms of RNF staff and Aprilia staff in your garage currently, Wilco? I mean, how many support staff do you have from the Aprilia factory?
As Paolo said, 6 people, I think, are from employed by Aprilia. And so basically it's a little bit of the same level as we had with the Yamaha. We also had many Yamaha people on board when we were a satellite team. But we have 2 extra mechanics each bike compared to before. And as Paolo said, we had our bikes earlier than they had their bikes, because we of course have our 22 package.
You were more lucky than
yes.
Than
so
us.
I was at Christmas time having 4 bikes ready in the flight case,
already in the boxes,
and they were still pushing to have the latest updates, and so it's positive and negative. And I have to say as well that so far all the updates that we were able to get for 2023, which were not related to rules or whatsoever, we also received. So this is also something what we appreciated a lot. So anything on the electronic side or whatsoever they could do, we received.
Guys, I know it's the beginning of your partnership, but is there like a strategy for the mid-term or the long-term? I mean, do you see, say, RNF having younger riders and developing younger riders, or is it a case of just finding the 4 best riders for Aprilia each season?
Well, we have both riders signed for 2 years, and they are signed by Aprilia, so we can, if for example, one of them is outperforming themselves or whatsoever, of course we are able to swap around, but at the moment we plan to do at least 2 years with both riders, because I think that's very important as well, that the guys are having a stable situation, because they have been floating around, especially Raul. And it's very important to learn this year a lot and try to get the best out of them next year, and then let's see where we are and if they can make another step or not.
Paolo, would you agree with that? That's
absolutely, 100%. 100% for Wilco.
Excellent. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. Before we go, though, I want to have a quiz question for you, Paolo. In Austin, we saw in the Moto2 race, Bo Benschneider finished on the podium. He was the first Dutch rider to finish on an intermediate class podium since, do you know, the last Dutchman?
No. Wilco?
Yes!
How did you not know that?
Good job, Wilco.
29 years ago.
20.
So I have been...
Yeah?
Yes. 1990,
Nice to hear
1994.
Assen, right?
Essen, yeah.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah. And Wilco just...
But still the only winner, eh? So Bo needs to make a step, but I think he can do it in Essen some way. Last year he struggled to get on the podium, but he has the speed. He needs to do his first lap good, because I'm proud to have a couple of podiums and a win, but now it's time that somebody else, a Dutch guy, is taking over, because after so many years it has to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Great work, Bo. So thank you once again for tuning in to the RNF Unlocked podcast series. We'll be back and bringing you more exciting content in the next episode in Le Mans, so stay tuned.